Welcome back, YouTube. It's been a while, but we're back from holiday and straight into a whole new block of training. So we're doing back and triceps today, and I'm starting with this slightly weird variation of a lat pull down, simply because when I was in Malaysia, I found this lat pull down in the hotel gym that wasn't your typical standard lat pull down where you're pulling straight down, but it was set up where the bench was slightly back and you're pulling on more of this diagonal line of pull. And that's something that I haven't done in maybe 4 or 5 years now, and I forgot just how amazing it feels. And I also discovered just how strong I was on that, despite not having done it in a long time. I was doing the entire stack on the machine. Let me tell you, I'm not a strong guy, so for me to be able to do the whole stack, that was really, really exciting. But I also felt just such a good pump, such big soreness the next few days. I thought, okay, it's probably worth adding this back into my rotation. So here we are. Now, if you don't have all this fancy setup, I do want to leave you one disclaimer. If you want to try this out, don't do this in a busy commercial gym. Don't drag a whole bench over to a lat pull down, set yourself up like this. It's just not worth it, okay? You can do the exact same thing with a single cable bench, sitting down, perfectly fine. You can do it without any bench at all. Single cable, just lunging down, it all works. But if you've got it available, this does feel absolutely amazing. So when I'm doing this, I really like to think about pulling the elbows down in front of me, almost like this is a pullover motion as opposed to a straight row or pulling back. I find I just get a lot more out of my lats by doing it in that way. I'm not sure if this is gonna end up staying in the routine or not, but that's what this first week is usually all about. Just trying new movements out that I have a very big suspicion are gonna feel really good and work really well together, but I'm also open to changing things up if I need to. That felt really good. I've been wanting to add in some more bodyweight exercises into my routine lately, but I've been a little bit apprehensive because I wasn't sure how I'd be able to track my load progression over time, because you can't just change the weight stack. But having these two variables here, where I know where this bench is going to be set, well, pole, And I will standardize how high I put those rings as well each time. Let's do it now. If I just, it's the bottom of the ring. Yeah, rib cage. Then I know how I should be doing this every single week and how I can push things further. But yeah, I was kind of surprised with that. I was maybe like 60-40 thinking that it's gonna feel like shit and I'm just gonna want to turf it straight away. But as long as I pay attention to what I'm doing as I'm going through the exercise, that felt really, really good through the whole upper back and shoulder area. I think, especially after the pull downs, very stable, machine-based, having a little bit more freedom here just feels organic, you know? All right, rear delts. I've been thinking about this one for a little while, and I think it's gonna feel really good here. Something's got to change. Yeah, there we go. All right. I'll tell you what, I can hear the comment section already. And I bet there's going to be someone who's going to come in here and be like, oh, stop overcomplicating shit. Stop reinventing the wheel. You're doing these fucking clickbait exercises for the algorithm and whatnot. And sometimes that is totally warranted. You know, I see so much clickbait shit out there on social media. I was like, that was done purely for clicks. And that wasn't done with any other intelligent logic behind it. But a lot of the time, movements like this, trying to achieve some stability, we're trying to achieve loading through the rear delts. You can do that a number of ways. This is just another way to set that exact same thing up. And you'll be surprised by playing around with different variations, just how good some things may feel for you. Especially something like this in terms of the customizability, where you have more of a fixed plane of motion compared to, say, dumbbells, but not so fixed like a standard machine that you feel stuck into place in a way that may be a little bit unnatural. And most importantly, if you're an extra super duper nerd, there are some extra unique benefits you'll get from cables compared to, say, dumbbells and maybe some machines, due to how the resistance changes throughout the range of motion based on where you set things up. So this cable, because of how it's set up right here, that cable is super far away from my shoulder. That's putting a lot of stress on the rear delt of the shoulders in general. When I come down here, see how close that is? That is now a lot less resistance being placed on my shoulders. Hard here, easy here. Just like me holding out a weight in hand, that there is heavy or more resistance. In here is light and no or little resistance, despite it weighing the exact same weight of 4 kilos. And that's what cables allow you to do. You can manipulate where things are hard and easy. And this is something that, you know, it's just a different way to be training things and hitting things. That may not be appropriate. I don't know. I'm just rambling now, and it's time to do another set. Whoops. Another movement I haven't done in, probably since I was actively bodybuilding, like competing. But very heavily slept on, old school movement. This is like the equivalent of a preacher curl, I guess, for the tricep instead of the biceps. I like it specifically because it's a great way to open up mobility at the same time. You may be familiar with this stretch called the butcher's block stretch. I'm not really sure where that name came from, but this is like a lat and a tricep shoulder opener for overhead mobility. So you'd normally grab a stick like this, drop yourself down, and you'll just pull yourself back, and you can like do this here to increase the stretch even further. And you're really trying to just like pull your chest down towards the ground. This is doing that for you under load as well. So I don't stretch a lot at the moment, but a big theme that I always have through all of my training, and I've always done, is had a degree of mobility, where I'm picking exercises that don't just hit a muscle in a stretched position or the lengthened position because it's more anabolic or anything like that. I try to use movements that also put your joints into these weighted stretches or active mobility based movements. So to get more bang for my buck. And then of course, if I did want the extra mobility or the extra range out of a specific area, then I would do some more specific stretching for it. But right now, with where I'm at with my goals, I'm pretty happy with my overall mobility. I don't have any more extreme goals. So just adding in things like this are great little mobility snacks that I can sneak in that don't take up extra time in my workouts.